أجمعين أما بعد. Good morning everyone. The Honorable Rector of UINSA Surabaya, Professor Ahmad Muzaki, Graduate SCA, MAG, MPhil, PhD. The Honorable Rector of University Teknologi Mara, Perlis Branch, Professor Dr. Sukor Sani Muhammad Fauzi. The Honorable Dean of Faculty of Science and Technology, Dr. Asep Saipul Hamdani. The Honorable Chair Lady of UIYSC 2022, Mrs. Yuanita Rahmawati MSc, and the respectable speakers, Professor Dr. Sukor Sani Muhammad Fauzi, Mr. Muhammad Syaugi Al-Muhtar LCMA, and Mr. Muhammad Yunnan Fahmy MT, and the respectable all lecturers of the Faculty of Science and Technology UINSA Surabaya, and the Honorable all participants of this seminar. Distinguished guests and dear participants, I am very pleased to see you here and welcoming all of you in the first UIYSC 2022. My name is Dr. Anang Kunaifi, and I will serve as your moderator during this seminar. Secondly, I would like to thank the Rector of UINSA Surabaya, Professor Ahmad Muzaki, PhD, and the Dean of Faculty of Science and Technology, Dr. Asep Saipul Hamdani, for the insightful welcoming remarks. Thirdly, I would like to express my warmest greetings to our exceptional speakers today, namely Professor Dr. Sukor Sanim Muhammad Fauzi from University Teknologi Mara, Malaysia, Mr. Muhammad Syaugi Al-Muhtar LCMA from University of Al-Ahqaf, Yaman, and last but not least, Mr. Muhammad Yunnan Fahmy MT, representing the University of Aberdeen, UK. Furthermore, I would like to also welcoming and send my warmest greetings to all talented young scientists who have pushed their knowledge and joined our event this year, UIYSC 2022, as participants. Hopefully you will get the best achievement in this event. Our theme for UIYSC 2022 is Featuring the Islamic Integration on Science and Technology for Young Scientists. It's an interesting topic for many scientists recently, especially scientists came from Islamic institution like UINSA. So in this seminar, we hope that we can learn the fast development of science and technology without losing its root from Islamic values. So without further ado, I would like to invite our first speaker, Mr. Muhammad Yunnan Fahmy. Mr. Muhammad Yunnan Fahmy. A brief introduction about him. He has received his bachelor and master degree in the field of ocean engineering from ITS Surabaya. Currently, he is in final stage of receiving his PhD degree from University of Aberdeen, UK. In 2018, he served as head of Indonesian Student Association in Aberdeen. He is also an entrepreneur, freelance consultant for coastal survey and modeling. In this seminar, he will deliver his interest entitled Wave Vegetation Interaction, the Importance of Protecting Marine Ecosystem. So allow me to invite Mr. Fahmy. Are you ready? Okay, for the next 30 minutes to 45 minutes, the time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable Rector, Prof. Ahmad Muzaki, Honorable Dean of Faculty of Science and Technology, Dr. Asep, Director of University Teknologi Mara, Malaysia, and all of the participants, thank you for your occasion. I'm really feel honored to be in this seminar and serve as the first speaker. Let me introduce a little bit myself. My name is Fahmy. I'm currently lecturer at UIN, Yunnan, and still a PhD student in the University of Aberdeen, UK. And in this occasion, I'd like to give a talk about my research entitled Wave Vegetation Interaction, the importance of protecting marine ecosystem. Okay, please go to the next slide. I'd like to start this talk by quoting two of my favorite quotes. The first one is from our holy book, the Quran, chapter number 2, verses number 11. And when it is said unto them, make not mischief in the earth, they say we are peacemaker only. And the second quote I like to quote in this morning is the University of Aberdeen slogan, Initium Sapientiae Timor Domini, which means the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is two quotes that really inspiring me, and I hope this also inspiring you as well. Okay, next. Ladies and gentlemen, in the world, most big cities are located in the coastal. You can say like Los Angeles, Tokyo, Jakarta, Surabaya, Semarang, Medan, and any other big cities in the world. They are mainly located in the coastal. Unfortunately, this means that the stress felt or impacted to the coastal community and to the coastal ecosystem is also become higher and higher. And as the climate change and the global warming, unfortunately, the frequency of coastal disasters are also increasing. In Indonesia, we know these a lot of disasters like banjir rob, we call it, and also a lot of erosion, abrasion. This frequency is increasing. And then the engineering community, especially in the coastal engineering community, they first proposed what we call the gray solution, which is the like building breakwaters, etc. However, recently, and at least like some past decades, the concept of ecosystem-based coastal defense is gaining more attention to replace or even combine with the gray solution, or we call it the hard engineering method, because the solution, the green solution, is not only can protect the marine or the coastline, but it's also promote marine life and can adapt to climate change. Next. Okay, and then, however, it has become important for us, for coastal engineering communities, to be able to exactly value or exactly measure how big or how significant is the effect of vegetation to coastal wave hydrodynamics. We cannot do overestimate or even underestimate it. So in order to increase the accuracy or to increase our knowledge in this process, the existing coastal morphodynamic model used in daily practice until now still need to be improved. If you are aware with some coastal engineering models like DEV3D or even Mike 21 maybe, the assumption, the models that used there need to be really improved, because as the last point, the research on wave vegetation interaction is still limited and mostly is done in the horizontal bed. Okay, next. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I went to Aberdeen and took my PhD there. I am being supervised by Professor Tom O'Donoghue and Dr. Dominic van der Rey. I took this project as very interesting for me, and I hope you are interested as well. So I work in the fluid mechanics lab, and in there we have what we call the Aberdeen University Random Wave Flume. It is a 20-meter long 0.45 meter wide and has a working water depth of 70 centimeters. At the end of this tank, we have a wave generator, the wave pedal, which is its bottom hinge and equipped with active wave absorption control. This equipment or this facility is very what you say, the very up to date, yeah, and it's very reliable. So you can generate not only regular but also irregular wave, and it's very, because it has a active wave absorption control. So the input wave and the generated wave are exactly the same. And then on the other end of this tank, I designed and I built artificial slope made from PVC, and then there I drilled it, and then I planted some artificial vegetation. Next. So as as the model to the real vegetation, I planted thousands of cylinders made from PVC. It is more or less 19 centimeters with 6 millimeter diameter, made from PVC, and then I arranged with two spacing, 30 and 60 millimeters, and with it gives me two densities. Yeah, the first one is so my running condition, my test condition is no vegetation, and then sparse condition and dense. And also I test this experiment by using quite wide spectrum of wave, both irregular and regular, with as you can see in the slide, it's ranging from 0.12 meters to 20 centimeters, yeah, wave height, and with significant wave height. And this input give me different types of breaking, which is also interesting to see. Yeah, and I also measure it for quite long duration, so it gives me quite a reliable and good data. Next. Yeah, the measurement that I conducted, I use two components. The first one is what you call the wave gauge. Wave gauge is like an iron rod put in the water. You can see in the above the laser on the top, in the right of the video. This wave gauge is provided by Carcel Control, so it comprises of 6 connectivity-based wave gauge and a wave monitor module. And then for the velocity measurement, I use very interesting 2-component laser Doppler anemometry, which is mounted on a transfer system that can give me automatic position along X, Y, and Z. So I can put the laser on wherever position in the waveform that I want. And then due to the natural properties of the laser, it gives me opportunity to be able to measure in a very specific volume and a very accurate X and Z direction. Maybe you can play the video to see how interesting it is. But Sasti, you can click the video, I think. Yeah. All right. So what you see here is a wave breaking. So the wave breaking over the top of the vegetation canopy. Those cylinder rods are the model of the canopy, the coastal vegetation. And then if you see the green and blue lights on your right, it's my laser measuring. So it's a quite sophisticated technology. And then on top of it, the wave gauge also measuring as well. So it's consecutively measuring with the laser. Next. Yeah. Now, before I speak about what the data I got, I also try to develop a practical model for cross-shore wave hydrodynamics to include the vegetation. In here, I use the energy balance equation approach, energy balance approach, in which the rate of power change along the x direction is equal to energy loss due to vegetation and also due to braking. In which the energy loss due to vegetation I calculated by period averaging product of horizontal force and velocity integrated over the vegetation height. And energy loss due to vegetation, energy loss due to braking in the surf zone, I follow Dali et al. This is very interesting model that he developed. And then the braking criteria, we follow Tajima and Madsen 22 and 26. And then the input as the approximation of the nonlinear wave height, I calculate from linear theory using Tajima and Madsen method as well, 22, 26. So, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me very interesting result. Next, what? In which you can see on your screen is the result of the wave height. So the wave height over the vegetation canopy, next please, is represented by the dots and the line. The dots there are my experimental data and the line is my model. So on the top of the top graph, it's a smaller wave with only 12 centimeters with 1.2 seconds period. Interestingly, the model, both the model and both the experiment are agree extremely very well, and then it also happen as well for the bigger wave on the bottom graph for the 20 centimeter wave. So you can see that the model can capture the braking behavior and then the surf zone as well. It's give us a very interesting agreement. Next. The next thing that I measure is the time average velocities. Maybe it's difficult for you to imagine what is that dots actually. So I like to try to give you a brief description. If you ever stand on the beach and then the wave coming into you and then the water goes by through the ocean again, so that's what I measure. So the speed, the velocity of the water that came back to the ocean, I measure it. So it gives us a very interesting one. The top graph is without vegetation. So as you can see on the tree graph on your top right, it shows a very strong undertow. This undertow means if this strong undertow happens in a real life, it can bring back the sediments to offshore direction, so it can cause abrasion. However, in the bottom graph, in the third, especially in the third, in the tree right on the bottom right, the undertow is, or the velocity is nearly zero. What this means that the velocity of the water is not really strong, and therefore it make the sedimentation quite stable and it doesn't cause erosion or abrasion. Next, this also give me interesting result on the orbital velocities, which is this in this occasion is represented by the URMS. You can see that the effect of the vegetation clearly reduce the magnitude of the orbital velocities. At the end, ladies and gentlemen, next, I'd like to end my talk today by informing and also maybe inviting for a future uh, cooperation or collaboration maybe. I'd like to say that a new data set of crusher with hydrodynamics over vegetated slope that include velocity measurement has been obtained. So it's I'm still not aware if there is any of these data set available elsewhere. Most of the data are over the horizontal path. And then as a conclusion as well, the vegetation canopy, e.g. seagrass, mangrove, salt marshes, and kelp, is not only cause strong effect on crusher wave hydrodynamics, but also help adapting to climate change. So if you compare this solution to a gray solution or hard engineering solution, the hard engineering solution doesn't have this ability to adapt to climate change. And then the third one, the crusher wave height is well predicted by a simple practical model that takes dissipation due to vegetation into account. And the last, I think, my challenge for me that still hold my PhD. Next, but there's the last point. The next step for me is to include the undertow model and to extend this model for irregular wave. I think that's all what I can say, and I am very open to any question and if there is any interesting in my research topic. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Mr. Fahmy, for your interesting and insightful talk. So I would like to invite all participants to make a questions. You can both write in the chat on your Zoom, or you can directly interact with the speakers after the third speaker finish the talk. So let's move to the second speaker. For the second speaker, I would like to invite Professor Dr. Sukor Sani Muhammad Fauzi to present his topic entitled Software Engineer Opportunities for Youth in the Era of Digital Transformation. But before the presentation, I would like to introduce him. Professor Sukor is one of the prominent scientists in the field of software engineering. He received a diploma in computer science and bachelor science specializing in information system engineering from University Technology Mara. And also he received Master of Science from the Center for Advanced Software Engineering, University Technology Malaysia. And he obtained his PhD degree. He obtained his PhD in software engineering from the University of New South Wales, Australia. He received several recognition from national and international institutions. He has received more than 20 research grants, both national and international. He has published more than 130 scientific publications and won more than 60 medals at national and international exhibitions. Just to name a few, and still many more, but I'm afraid that we don't have much time to read all his CV. So without further ado, I would like to welcome Professor Sukor. And for the next 30 to 45 minutes, Professor Sukor, the time is yours. Yes, clearly.
Yes, Professor.
My bachelor degree in information system engineering from UITM. So, right, so currently I received over 25 research grants from the industry, from the ministry, and also from the internal institution, from our internal grant as well. So, and have published around 150 publications and have received around 70 medals, okay, both from national and also international exhibition, and have involved more than 120 up to 150 in technical committee, as a technical committee, and also an editor for 5 books. And one of the books you can see from the British Library includes software process improvement and management approaches and tools for practical development, where I believe this book has been widely used by many universities and also by many researchers in my area. And here, some of the recognition, so I don't think I need to highlight all the recognition here. Okay, so I'd like to take this opportunity to talk about, okay, before we proceed with the topic, I'd like to touch a bit about my university. So as a rector, I think it's a part of my responsibility to talk about to promote my university as well, okay, in this very short platform. So basically, UITM is a short for University of Jemara. So we are proud to say that we are the Malaysia's largest institution of higher learning in terms of size and also population. So, so basically, we have experienced phenomenal growth, okay, since its inception in 1956, and we are currently still growing. So, beside our main campus in Shah Alam, so we have around 35 state campuses. Around 12 state campuses, okay, and then 6 satellite campuses, 11 state satellite campuses, and 21 affiliated colleges. And we have around 17,000 workforce, and we offered around 500 academic programs, and currently we have around 175,000 students in all around our system. So we offer various programs from the foundation level up until PhD or S3. Okay, so you can visit our website later if you like to know more about our university. So this about a little bit about my campus, our campus, which is UITM or University Talent Jemara Police Branch, which is where we are currently located at the northern region of Malaysia. So we are the biggest campus compared to other system, okay, compared to other campuses in UITM system. So, okay, as you can see here, we first established in 1974 with only around 258 students, and at the time we only offer around 1 preparatory course and 5 diploma programs, and we only have 50 academic staff members. Okay, but nowadays we have moved to our permanent campus, okay, where we currently located now in Arau with 400 acre in terms of the size, okay, with where we have a 700 workforce, okay, where 350 where 350 academic staff, and the rest 350 is a supporting staff. Okay, then we have 7 main faculties in UITM Police Branch, where it is dominantly dominated by 2 major faculty, which is Faculty of Applied Sciences and also Faculty of Computer and Medical Sciences, and the rest we also have social sciences faculty like Faculty of Accountancy, Faculty of Business and Management, Faculty of Architecture, Planning and Surveying, Faculty of Sports Science and Recreation, and of course, since we have 200 acres of what we call plantation area, so we have a very unique faculty which is known as Faculty of Plantation and Agrotechnology. So this is my group, so you can visit our group at act-rg.com. So this is just a brief about our members. We have 6 members, including myself as an expertise in software engineering, and we have Dr. Tajol, Dr. Ain, we have Mr. Hafiz, Mr. Ray, and also the latest addition is Dr. Rosita, okay, and also Dr. Rohaila Maskat. So this is the niche area of our group, where we focus vastly in a transdisciplinary area, which includes software engineering, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, geographical information system, machine learning, big data, and also information retrieval. And here are the list of the research grant that we receive, and there is just a few or several PhD students that we currently supervise, and right, and then the list of master students that we currently supervise, and here are the list of our collaborators that we have. Okay, we have a lot of collaboration. Okay, from Chile, University of Concepcion, Chile, Deakin University. Of course, we also have collaboration with many universities in Malaysia, like University of Malaya, Universiti Tunisia On, Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia, University Pendidikan Idris, such as Erlangga as well, which is not very far from Yunnan and Sunan Ampel, and then Suska Riau, Islam Riau, Telkom University, which is located in Bandung, in Malaysia, and also University of Calcutta. So we are looking towards to have more collaboration with other institutions and also other research groups all over the world, inshallah. So this is just a brief summary of our SCTH, of our group achievement with total value more than 2 million research grant, okay, value of the research grant with more than 25 research grant. Okay, we have received, and right, I think this is not very latest statistic. I think is nowadays is reached up until 180 articles has been published by our groups, and I think almost 70 to 18 innovation awards that have been received by all members from our groups. Okay, so here contents for our brief talk today. So it's about Internet of Things, okay, for smart sustainable cities and also communities. So these are the contents. So firstly, we have Internet of Things, okay, and then we are going to talk a little bit about the Sustainable Development Goals, and we are going to highlight on SDG 11. So we have 17 SDG areas, and for the purpose of today's presentation, we're going to only highlight on the SDG 11, which is focusing on the, if I'm not mistaken, what is 11? Okay, and then about sustainable cities, and then the component of SSC, application of IoT for SSC, the challenges, future direction, and also the conclusion. Okay, right. So you can see that Internet is now 20 years old, and over 2 billion or maybe more than that are connected using computers, the smartphone devices, tablets, and etc. So, so the Internet currently connects people, okay, to people, or what we call P2P, and is now being called the Internet phase 1, and then the next phase of the Internet is just beginning, and will connect people to everyday devices, M2P, or it's called as M2P, and everyday devices to each other, or what we call M2M. So now everyday devices like the thermostat, lights, cars, TVs, etc. are being made smart, okay, by connecting them together over networks and to the Internet. And these devices will not only be able to send data to the Internet, okay, but they will also be controlled over the Internet. So these devices will become things. That is what we call things, okay, on the Internet of Things, meaning that we have devices, okay, which is known as a things and is interconnected by using Internet. So that's why it's known as Internet of Things. So in other words, we can say that IoT, or Internet of Things, can be referred as a massive network of physical devices, okay, embedded with sensors. We have software, we have electronics and networks, which allows the devices to exchange or collect data and perform certain actions. Okay, so the concept of connecting any device, so long as it has an on or off switch to the Internet and to other connected devices. Okay, okay, pretty much any physical object can be transformed into an IoT device if it can be connected to the Internet to control or communicate information. So like digital watches, smartphones, electronic appliances, a light bulb that can be switched on using a smartphone app is an IoT device, as is a motion sensor or smart thermostat in our office or a connected street light. So an IoT device could be as fluffy as a child's toy, or as serious as a driverless truck. So we can see a lot of driverless cars nowadays. So some larger objects may also be filled with many smaller IoT components, okay, such as jet engine, okay, that's now filled with thousands of sensors collecting and transmitting data back to back to make sure it's operating efficiently. I think most of the modern cars also have been installed with a lot of sensors nowadays. They at even bigger scale, so smart cities projects are filling entire region with sensors as well, and to help in order to help the authority or to help us to better understand and control the environment. Okay, so this is just really, I don't think I need to touch about this. So how it works? Okay, so the technology of IoT, we can say that varies from one ecosystem or architecture to another. Okay, however, the basic working concept still remain the same. So the working process starts with the objects or device, such as digital watches, okay, and more to communicate securely with an IoT platform. So next, the platform collects data from multiple devices, okay, and then analyzes this data. Then it transfers all valuable data using application to connected devices. So everything basically works. We can say that it's seamlessly through these four components, okay? Like as we can see on the slide, on the screen, like sensors to collect data, connectivity to sending the data to cloud, okay, sending the data back to cloud, and then the data processing in order to make sure the data has been clean, okay, and etc. To make sure the data is useful, and then of course in order to interact with the data, then we have a user interface in order to deliver information to the user, and then in the end it can be used. It's very helpful to assist any authority and etc. to make an accurate decision making. Then when something connects with the internet, it has both the capabilities of sending and or receiving information, which particularly we can say that is to make it smart. And being smart does not mean it needs to process a supercomputer or super storage inside but all it needs is require access by connecting to a computer or storage. So similarly, like IoT, I think is creating lots of opportunities by linking the computer systems, okay, with the real and also physical world. For example, I think, for example, one of the common example, for example, just a few years ago, okay, when we like to listen to our favorite songs, okay, I believe all of us would love to listen to our favorite song, okay, on our mobile phone, for instance, for example. So, but previously, just a few years ago, we had to download each song, right? But nowadays, we can listen to any music in one, okay, without downloading it necessarily into our cell phone or into our mobile phone. So what we need is just to have a kind of internet and also access where it's stored on the internet. So this is pretty amazing, I think. So and very helpful. So in terms of how the IoT provide advantages, I think based on the literature itself, IoT do help us very well or pretty well. For example, as you can see here, these 5 advantages that IoT brings, which includes efficiency. Okay, for example, so when we have a faster connectivity through IoT system, so the efficiency of making a decision or access to data also can be improved or can be made efficient. So it's because the amount of time spent on performing tasks can be reduced. Okay, and then in terms of technical optimization, okay, where we no longer have to operate multiple devices for each for the task that manually if we use an IoT system, because it really allow us to control everything using a single device, like for example a smartphone, okay, with a single remote, so we can have access to all the lights, all the fan, air condition, etc. at our home, okay, and then the convenience in terms of conveniency. So it has increased the convenience while at home. So again, like the smart home, the IoT has enabled like air condition, toaster, like coffee maker, and much included like refrigerators are more are included in this and making our life very convenient and saving lots of time as well, I think. And then conservation, okay, where IoT can help to conserve the environment by monitoring traffic, where we see this kind of example right after this in my next slide, and then also can conserve water and also electricity usage, air quality, and etc. etc. And also the other advantage is in terms of the personalization, where as IoT device can collect our data, okay, so they can learn the preferences, likes, and dislike quickly. As a result, these trigger more personalized services based on our choices. Okay, so as we know, I think all of us know, so IoT solutions are widely used in numerous companies across fields and also industries. So these are some of the most common IoT applications, includes in smart home, wearables, smart city, smart grid, industrial internet, connected car, connected health, smart retail, okay, smart supply chain, and also smart farming. It is a bit about sustainable development goal. Okay, so I believe all of us have heard about this SDG area. Okay, we have 17 SDG areas, starting from non-poverty until the number of 17 SDG, which
Recording in
because
progress.
of the time constraint, I only focusing on a few applications of IoT. Okay, where I only focuses on the most common application that we basically use in most of the government in this world. Okay, the first one is traffic management. Okay, so in 2018, okay, the drivers involved most congested urban areas, okay, lost hundreds of hours to road traffic. I believe this also happened in Indonesia and also happened in some part of Malaysia, like in Kuala Lumpur, Pranjaya, Jaya, and etc. etc. Okay, so for instance, like okay, one of the based on one of the data, okay, which I just read, okay, in Bogota, Colombia, okay, in Bogota, Colombia, so the drivers itself lost 272 hours per capita, which suggests the highest in this world, okay, to road because of the road congestion. This is according to 2018 INRIC traffic scorecard. And the American in the state of America, okay, on average lost around 97 hours, okay, in congestion, with Boston, Massachusetts topping the country at 184 hours. So, and the city also has experienced the greatest cost globally from congestion at around US dollar 2000 plus a year. Okay, so the government initiatives for traffic management, however, are increasing as the drive for smart and safer city communities continues. So this and also hyper urbanization in developing countries are major factors in the growth of traffic management solutions. So this is according to a report by Markets on the Intelligent Transportation System ITS site. The markets estimates the global ITS market reached around 30 billion by 2023 and up from nearly 23.4 billion in 2018. So, so how to solve these issues related to the congestion? So, a lot of IoT application has been developed or can be developed. Okay, like for instance, a smart traffic system. Okay, which is based on big data analytics solution. So this solution assists the authority, okay, to fetch, okay, or to fetch and share the information across various departments to take prompt action. Okay, normally nowadays is integrated with junction control system, okay, vehicle counting system, and also junction control unit. Okay, and then next the other IoT application which we can build or develop is like a junction control system, okay, where our system, where the system can give fewer dealers and also emission at the synchronous junction, okay, by changing green times dynamically regarding the number of vehicles. And the system developed by us by some of the companies, okay, can communicate with each other through wireless connection, okay, for signal coordination and also network optimization. All right, and then other than that, we have vehicle counting system, okay, where it has a capability to count vehicle passing through a road section. Okay, then it provides vehicle occupancy, vehicle speed, okay, vehicle count, and also classification and data in real time. And then we have junction control unit, okay, also being developed vastly, and also smart smart traffic light. I think this is most common application, IoT application being developed by many has been developed or has been installed by many authorities in this world, right? The next is parking management. So, of course, because of the increase of the total population in smart city, in a city, so the surge of demand, okay, for parking spaces, okay, stems predominantly, okay, from two major trends, okay. Then the increase of car ownership and also increasing urbanization. So, to understand the magnitude of parking lot problems, so the authority or municipal communities, okay, face when it comes to parking, take a look at the following statistics. So let's take a look at the following So based on the World Bank, right? Based on the World Bank, over 4 billion people on Earth are city residents. So that's more than half of the entire population. And then by 2030 itself, the value will reach 60% of the overall population. And the growing scale of urbanization brings more challenges in terms of infrastructure, okay, planning, and also transportation network. This has led to a searching for parking result in considerable losses in productive time and money. So based on the data statistic, 35% of the overall commute time is dedicated to finding a parking spot itself. And because of that, the financial losses, because of that, the financial losses economy sustained are tremendous. Okay, and then this is supported by the USA Today reports or data. Okay, where the cost of wasted time and fuel per driver is reaching $345. Okay, because of the result of finding the empty parking space and etc. So in order to assist the community, so some of the IoT application that we can use includes, for example, here tracking cost with sensor system, okay, where IoT is the technology at the core of the tracking platform. The tools like nowadays we have GPS or OBD sensors can help to collect location data on a car or a fleet and monitor the capacity of parking spaces. These basically information can be transferred, okay, to the cloud gateway and processed and sent to the network server. And the data will be presented to the drivers itself, okay, and car company managers in terms of understandable, clear, and also clear insight. And then for this application, I think most of the IoT-based vehicle trackers are mainly used by large-scale corporate organizations for fleet management. Okay, many fleet management has already used this kind of application. So in the near future, when they release, I think we are towards the 5G, or can say that some of the country also have its own 5G, can make the Internet of Things more accessible, and then the parking lot technology will spread among car drivers and will be used to manage daily commutes and also mitigate parking challenges. And then other than that, we have a smart counter system and also smart parking for the system, where this application has been developed by our group, by our research group. Okay, and then next is for public safety. Okay, so of course with so much on plate, so the public safety officials need as much help as they can, okay, when it comes to providing services to citizens. Internet of Things, okay, technologies can aid public officials, okay, by giving important insights, okay, like when they need the most, especially when involved the safety of the residents, and so that means data need to be reliable and easily accessed. Okay, so based on the literature, it says that it has been identified that IoT can drastically extend the limits and also scope of traditional public safety services and provide new means and also intelligence for improved situation awareness, okay, and also prevention, mitigation, response and recovery, okay, supporting automated notification, okay, actuation, optimal knowledge sharing, okay, improve decision making, and also advanced interaction with citizens, okay, public safety agencies and first responders. So some ways where IoT can be used to aid officials, okay, which allowing for better public safety includes, okay, like for example, preventing building and structural collapse, right? Like in United States of America, okay, on average about 128 bridges collapse in the United States of America every year, which causing chaos, disruption, and in the worst cases, okay, fatalities in local areas. That is what these something that we they like to hear. Okay, in the worst case, okay, fatalities in local areas. And then the best way to avoid these types of disasters is through preventative maintenance. Okay, like nowadays, by using data generated by IoT devices, okay, sensors to drive another field like artificial intelligence and also machine learning algorithm. Okay, so the authority can get the predictive insight into city infrastructure and detect damage by measuring shift and also vibration in structures that can be that can indicate the cracks, okay, on the bridge and also extension or excessive strain. And also this also would allow the authority to identify potentially life-threatening problems, okay, proactively and conduct preventative maintenance, so small issues don't develop into bigger problems. So meaning that we can track or identify the issues earlier, okay, rather than at the end of the stage, okay, where we cannot solve anything anymore, okay. And then, for example, the IoT devices like sensors attached to bridges, okay, allow the city official or authority official to monitor all the bridges across the city 24/7. Okay, so let's say if a crack seems to be growing or strain is becoming dangerous, okay, so a sensor will send alerts, okay, instantly, okay, to the appropriate personnel, okay, where it allows the cities to identify at-risk structure before they cause damage to surrounding structure or harm the resident. Right, and then other than that, we also have IoT also can help in locating people who are lost or in danger. Okay, like instead again, determining the exact location of someone calling 911. Okay, can sometimes be quite challenging. Okay, this is due to the close range and also constant signal needed by many networks, and this can dispatch any and also can struggle to determine the caller's exact location in real time. Okay, for example, like if we love hiking, if you love hiking, so if a hiker climbed a mountain, for example, okay, like Mount Bromo and etc., and get herbs, okay, so what we can do is by using IoT, so we can have, of course, we have an option to call the authority, okay, by using a cell phone and etc. So, however, the cell signal can become scarce, okay, or in other words, a big problem in remote areas, okay. So let's say if an emergency occurs, okay, so can we make a call through the authority, okay, like 911, like in Malaysia we have jabatan awam, jabatan apa nama JPAM and etc. And if a call does get made, does the authority or the police, for example, be able to get the exact location of the injured person? So these are some of the challenges, okay, some of the challenges where the IoT, okay, can enable the trackers and also panic buttons running on 0G network, okay, and so these things are given then by using to devices connected to a 0G network, okay. Hackers can take comfort knowing that first responders, they can rapidly identify where they are in real time, ensuring acute response. Right, and then other than that, can improve situational awareness, okay, with public warning systems. So like in the case of natural disasters like tsunami, okay, fire incident or hazardous material leak spill, okay, nowadays we have a lot of things that lead, okay, because of the material leak spill and etc. There's several government agencies around the world basically particularly use a lot of IoT in order to manage the public safety. So again, the data sensors can be actually get connected with billboards, okay? You can use billboard to transfer the data from one hazardous area to the billboard, and the road displays, bus stop displays, and even vehicle infotainment system also can be used in order for us to send alert to the public concerning the incident affected areas, okay? And then such accurate and also timely information help the citizen to remain well informed and away from trouble. And so these IoT devices can ensure that such information is communicated to the people okay, with visual and hearing disabilities, okay, with the help of special signal of a special signal. It's a signboards and also public announcement system, which is closed captioning displays and etc. etc. Okay, next is waste management. Okay, all right. So this work has generated around 267.8 million tons of waste. This is enormous. Okay, this is based on the statistic in 2017. Okay, it was calculated around 267.8 million tons of waste have been generated by all of us in this world. Then this this figure approximately this means that approximately around 4.51 pounds, okay, per person per day. So means that we ourselves has generate around 4.51 pounds per person per day. So as we dedicate more and more attention to the amount of waste we generate and how it's handled, we also have to take a look at how those processes can be made more sustainable. So of course, by using IoT, so IoT can present a huge opportunity to reduce waste, okay, lowering the operating cost of waste management companies, and also improve the quality of service that residents and business receive, no matter where they are located. So the most common IoT application in waste management operation currently is the automated route optimization of garbage pickup trucks. This is one of the project conducted developed by our research group. Okay, so where basically the trucks generally follow a specific route every day to collect trash. So and then for those sanitation department that have yet to harness activity, so the drivers generally don't know how full a trash bin is before they encountered it. Okay, so that result in a lot of wasted time, fuel, and therefore money. So what we do is by using IoT application, okay, in waste management. So basically, we improve this scenario. We try to improve this scenario by giving sanitation workers insight into the actual field level of various disposal unit or garbage. Okay, whose loads can vary by day, the week, and also the season. So by using the sensors enabled, okay, and internet connected garbage bins collect. So the sensors can collect information on field level, temperature, location, and etc., or whatever data types the sensors gather, and the sanitation and also the sanitation department find useful. So and with a user interface, okay, revealing the location and field level of all bins, waste collectors can get an automated route plan, okay, for them that has prioritized areas in urgent needs of clean up and avoided disposal units that still have room. Okay, so not only this, means optimizing fleet logistic operation and reducing fuel consumption, but they are also recording the number of times they are emptied and also how fast they fill up. Okay, and then the such data basically when combined with with statistics from other smart city system can facilitate more insightful and also multi-pronged actions such as planning the better disruption of garbage bins, okay, zeroing on problem like incorrect disposal practices, and also reducing waste going to the landfill. Right. Okay. 1 second. Okay, for environmental monitoring, so of course, okay, according to the Washington Post, okay, pollution around the globe now contribute to an estimated 9 million deaths annually, or roughly 1 in 6 people. Okay, this with the sprawling population growth, okay, comes more industrial-based jobs, resulting in massive increases in population. So how do we protect? So the question is, how do we protect our cities, right? So one way is by collecting environment. One way is, of course, by collecting environmental data to understand our physical world, okay, and then using it to influence policy, okay, draw attention to local and national issues, and also pursue pathways to solving this global crisis. Okay. All right. So how I think I can help? So I'm not going to teach. I'm not going to touch all of this. Okay. So IoT can help to monitor the water quality, the air quality, energy monitoring, and also toxic gas detection. Right. And then for transportation, okay. So IoT devices are deployed. Okay. Okay, are deployed in a number of areas, okay, within the transportation sector, okay, notably in traffic congestion systems, okay, telematic systems within vehicles, tools, and ticketing and security, and also surveillance, to name but a few. Okay, so IoT for transportation, okay, is the interacting of objects with embedded sensors, actuators, and other devices that gathers and also transmit data about real-world activities. So the use of IoT-enabled technology is changing the way that the transportation sector operates. So some wider benefits that apply to the use of IoT technology within the transportation sector includes, okay, benefits of IoT for transportation includes enhanced customer experience, okay, improve safety, where the ability to track things such as train speeds, aircraft parts condition, okay, roadway temperatures, and the number of vehicles at an intersection using IoT-enabled technology can all help to improve the safety of our transit system worldwide. And then in terms of operational performance, where the transportation agencies adopting of IoT are already starting to see benefit in terms of operational performance, where they can get better monitor critical infrastructure and develop efficient processes, okay, to minimize operating costs and also improve system capacity, and then etc. Okay, and then in terms of the application, how IoT can help, okay, like for example, connected cars, okay, connected cars, okay, like for example, cars today rely on connectivity, and a key part of that is many new cars are now equipped with internet connectivity, sensors, and actuators, all monitoring a wide range of applications from brakes and engines to the control of tire pressures and also exhaust gas composition. So connected car application will use the in-vehicle networks rather, and also cameras to detect, okay, to help detect and communicate with one another, okay. We can help to prevent collision and to help promote smooth traffic flow. Okay, other than that, applications like toll and ticketing, okay, okay, vehicle tracking system, and also public transport management. Right, and then for energy supply, right, so we can use with the application of IoT, we can use all the data gathered, okay, using IoT to do modeling and also to do forecasting, okay, like for example in Bangalore, okay, Bangalore water supply, okay, in India is basically implementing a real-time monitoring, implementing a real-time monitoring system, okay, to detect leakages, okay, illegal connection, and also remotely control valves, okay, to ensure equitable supply of of water to different areas of the city, okay, and then it helps to reduce, like for instance, the need for valve operators and to timely identifying and fixing water pipes that are leaking. Okay, and as well in Europe, like French energy services company also has launched a complex energy consumption monitoring and management solution that both consumers and operators through remote monitoring of and communication, okay, about the consumer energy consumption, and then the Adelia, okay, the name of the company Adelia is now able to deliver near real-time reports to consumers, okay, sending alerts and also making recommendations to consumers about the consumption habits and also bills. Right, this is the case study, okay, application of IoT in smart city. Like, okay, as you can see here on the slide, okay, on the screen is the city of Seoul, okay, where the Seoul metropolitan government, okay, used to employ acute labs, okay, because they had a problem with a frequent waste collection and waste overall, okay, with an inadequate number of public waste bins, and with 4 to 5 daily waste collection proving to be insufficient. They had a very serious problem on their hands. So furthermore, because of the waste collection plans didn't know how full or how quickly the bins became full, so the authority, the Seoul authority waste collection had to deal with plastic bottles and paper cups that continuously pile up on top of recycling bins. So therefore, with the main goal of improving the cityscape by making streets cleaner and also reducing waste collection costs, so the Seoul authority decided to install around 85 clean cubes in 2014 for general waste and recyclables, okay, in particularly crowded areas of the city center. And then the manager of the public cleanliness department utilized Clean City Network or CCN to monitor the status and the level of clean cubes and observe the collection efficiency throughout the Seoul. So as a result, within just 3 months, within 2 or 3 months, okay, of using acute labs solution, the city was able to see huge improvement, okay, in public sanitation. So since installing the clean cubes, so waste overall was eliminated, and there was a significant reduction of litter on the street nowadays. So, right, so this is one of the case study. Right, and then this is another case study about the application of IoT in a smart city. Like in Malaysia, we have Iskandar Malaysia Smart City, and then like in Brisbane City, so they have invested in building data infrastructure, business intelligence, and analytics capabilities to become a data-driven city. Right, and then like city of Perth, okay, like they have kind of initiatives known as smart precinct, okay, where they do use CCTV-based sensors and also analytics to measure vehicle movement and also pedestrian activity around the new. We have one very nice bridge known as Mata Group Bridge, and also Optus Stadium, okay, precinct to support greater efficiency in management and therefore community experience and also safety. Right, so of course, I would like to implement the initiative, okay? Would like to implement the initiative of IoT in the smart city and etc. Of course, we normally face a lot of problems or challenges, right? First of the challenges, for instance, right, related to city engagement, okay, where normally if you like to make a changes, okay, or you like to adapt or adopt to a new technology or solution, of course, naturally people are reluctant or resistant to change. Okay, so every form of normalcy was one revolted against. Okay? There can be no doubt that no matter how wonderful an impact of IoT and smart cities may promise, people are not going to buy it, at least during the initial stages. Okay, for this, The citizens need to have a solid understanding of the many benefits and
Sorry, Prof.
transformative potential of smart cities.
Professor Sukor, maybe
Uh,
5 more minutes for the
Initiative
presentation.
must be undertaken, right, to raise awareness and also generate engagement among citizens through email campaigns, okay, in-person meeting conducted by local government authorities, and also printed handout, so that embracing changes become much easier. And then the second challenge is related to social inclusion, okay, meaning that failing to implement a particular initiative, okay, for all categories of citizens. Okay, for example, a city may choose to not implement a healthcare initiative for the elderly or the physically and mentally challenged members of the society because they may not be able to use the advanced technologies. So hence, must be ensured that smart city initiatives are implemented for all citizens, okay, of the society, not just those who are well off or more familiar with technological devices. And then other challenges include security and privacy concern, okay, problem with interoperability, okay, and of course, and then the other thing related to the computer system itself, okay, networking system itself, which is vulnerable to hacks. So most of the connection of IT, of course, with object will enable to RFID itself, and also these are vulnerable to hacks. This means that enabling a hack-proof of IoT ecosystem will ensure a faster realization of smart cities development. Right? Then here we go. We has come to the conclusion of the talk. All right. So basically, in our today's talk, we have discussed about IoT in smart, sustainable cities and communities. So based on the discussion, okay, based on the talk sharing, okay, or presentation, can see a lot. You can say that IoT provides solution in many sectors. Okay, not only one specific sectors. Okay, like for instance, transportation, environmental monitoring, traffic monitoring, and others. And this, of course, will lead to efficient problem solving, okay, smart mobility, sustainable, and more, which directly will help the community and also the ummah, okay, to have very competent living style. Okay, I think that's all from me. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Professor Sukor, for the inspiring presentation. Please give a big applause to Prof. Sukor. Thank you. So, before we go on to the next speaker, I would like to remind all participants you can ask question by writing in the chat. Boleh pakai bahasa Indonesia. I'm more than happy to translate your question, or if you like to ask directly to the speaker, we will have Q&A session after the third speaker's presentation. So we have come to the third speaker. Briefly introduction about the third speaker, Mr. Muhammad Shauki Al-Muhdar LCMA. He has received his bachelor and master degree from University of Al-Ahqaf, Yemen. Currently, he is pursuing PhD University in Al-Ahqaf, Yemen. In 2019, he served as the head of Indonesian Student Association of Yemen. Currently, he is appointed as the chairman of International Branch of Nahdlatul Ulama in Yemen. He will present his topic entitled, "Is the integration between science and Islam still important for youth?" And interestingly, he will present his topic using Arabic and Bahasa Indonesia. So it's a bilingual presentation. Mr. Muhammad Shauki, are you ready? Okay, the time is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Innal hamdalillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruh. Na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. Man yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu ومن يضلله فلا هادي له. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما باركت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم وترحم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما ترحمت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم وتحنن على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما تحننت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما باركت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد في كل لحظة أبدا عدد خلقك ورضا نفسك وزنة عرشك ومداد كلماتك. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد بقدر عظمة ذاتك العلية في كل وقت وحين أبدا عدد ما علمت وملء ما علمت وزنة ما علمت صلى الله عليه على سيدنا مولانا محمد صلى الله عليه صاحب التاج والمعراج والبراق والعلم ودافع البلاء والوباء والمرض والألم. جسمه مطهر معطر منور من اسمه مكتوب مرفوع موضوع على اللوح والقلم. شمس الضحى بدر الدجى نور الهدى مصباح الظلم. أبي القاسم سيد الكونين وشفيع الثقلين. أبي القاسم سيدنا محمد أشرف العرب والعجم نبي الحرمين محبوب عند رب المشرقين والمغربين. يا أيها المشتاقون لنور جماله صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. المكرم والمحترم رئيس جامعة الإسلامية الحكومية سنن أمبل سورابaya Profesor Ahmad Muzaki. المكرم والمحترم عميد كلية العلوم والتكنولوجيا بالجامعة الإسلامية الحكومية بسورابaya دكتور سيف الحمداني. الحاضرون جميعا السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. أي بنا نشكر الله تعالى على جميع ما من علينا من آلائه العظيمة الكثيرة التي لا تحصى ولا تعد، منها نعمة الإسلام والإيمان وكذلك نعمة الصحة والعافية، حيث كنا بهذه النعم نستطيع أن نجتمع جميعا في هذه الصباح في هذه الفرصة السعيدة. فقد طلب مني أو طلب مني الدكتور عبد الله حميد أن ألقي كلمة مختصرة في ظل موضوع العلاقة بين العلوم التكنولوجية وبين الدين الإسلامي الحنيف. فأحببت أن ألقي هنا محاضرة مختصرة، وقد أحببت الكلام هنا في أن خير الكلام ما قل ودل، فاختصرت موضوع محاضرتي في 7 أوراق التي سنراها جميعا. فالموضوع التي سأتكلم عليها هي أثر التطورات التقنية الحديثة في الفقه الإسلامي. فأنا معكم محمد شوقي المهضار، طالب بجامعة الأحقاف جريم حضرموت اليمن، تخصص الفقه وأصوله. سأبدي لكم بعض العلاقة بين العلوم والتكنولوجيا وأهمية دراستها، لأنها لها أثر في الأحكام الفقهية. وقبل كل شيء بادئ ذي بدء، أحببت أن أبدأ الكلام بالمطلع القرآني، كما أن المحاضران قبلي يبدأ كلامهما بالمطلع القرآني. وقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه العزيز: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم، بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، وما كان المؤمنون لينفروا كافة فلولا نفر من كل فرقة منهم طائفة ليتفقهوا في الدين ولينذروا قومهم إذا رجعوا إليهم لعلهم يحذرون. سورة التوبة آية 122. فموضوع العلاقة بين العلوم التكنولوجية وبين الفقه الإسلامي يتصور في أثر التطورات التقنية الحديثة في الفقه الإسلامي. وقبل كل شيء لا بد علينا أن نفهم ونعلم أن الفقه الإسلامي جزء من العلم الديني الذي قال عنه سيدنا الإمام الشافعي رحمه الله تعالى: هو إنما العلم بطيء اللزام بعيد المرام لا يدرك بالسهام ولا يرى في المنام، وإنما هي شجرة لا تصلح إلا بالغرس ولا تغرس إلا في النفس ولا تسقى إلا بالدرس ولا تحصل إلا باستناد الحجر وافتراش المدر وإدمان السهر وقلة النوم وصلة الليلة باليوم. فهذه هي العلوم الدينية النافعة الذي قال عنه الإمام الشافعي، الذي سنبحث وندرس عنه في لقائنا اليوم، هو الفقه النوازل. وما هو الفقه النوازل؟ فقه النوازل مشتق من كلمة نازلة، وهي من الشدائد، شدائد الدهر التي تنزل بالناس. وما حادثة الكورونا، جائحة كورونا عنا ببعيد، فقد كنا نحس بالضيق شديد حين انتشر هذا الوباء في العالم الإسلامي، وكم من العبادات التي تمنع بسبب هذه الجائحة، مثل الصلاة الجماعة في المساجد، كذلك الحج، كذلك العمرة وغير ذلك. فموضوعنا سيتناول اليوم في مبحث الفقه النوازل. والفقه النوازل المقصود في مبحثي اليوم هو الوقائع والمسائل المستجدة والحادثة التي تحتاج إلى حكم شرعي. فلا بد من كل حكم ولا بد من كل حادثة حكم في شرع نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وقد سطره بعض العلماء في كتبهم الفقهية من جميع المذاهب الفقهية، الحنفية والمالكية والشافعية والحنابلة، كلهم قد سطروا الأحكام الفقهية في كتبهم، وقد وضعوا أساس ومبادئ لاستنباط الأحكام الفقهية من الأصول. وقد يطلق وقد يطلق أيضا عن العلم على العلم الذي يعنى بالنازلة عدة مصطلحات، منها أولا فقه النوازل، وثانيا فقه الواقع، والثالثا فقه المقاصد. يعني فقه النوازل أيضا تعنى بالعلم المقاصد. وما هي علم المقاصد؟ العلم المقاصد كما ذكره الإمام أبو حامد محمد بن محمد الغزالي في كتابه المستصفى من علم الأصول، هي مقاصد الشريعة تقصد لخمسة أشياء: أولا حفظ الدين، ثانيا حفظ النفس، ثالثا حفظ النسل، ورابعا حفظ الأرض، وخامسا حفظ النسل. فهذه هي المقاصد الخمسة للتيسير جميع حياتنا وفق هذه المبادئ والمقاصد. فعلاقة بين فقه النوازل وفقه المقاصد هي علاقة وطيدة جدا وعلاقة عميقة، ولا تنفك هذا العلم عن غيره من العلوم. وقد نعم فنكست. فأحببت هنا أن أبدي بعض القاعدة التي دائما يكررها العلماء، ولكن قبل كل شيء أحببت أن أذكر كلمة لابد أن تكتب، يستحق أن تكتب بماء الذهب، من البروفيسور محمد الأزرق، وهو الخريج من جامعة الإسلامية، من أقدم جامعة إسلامية العالمية، جامعة قرويين في فاس في المغرب. وهو أن الشريعة أو الدين الإسلامي لم تكن عقبة لأي تطورات، أي الدين الإسلامي دائما يستطيع أن يتكيف مع أي تطورات الحديثة، مع أي وقائع الموجودة في أي عصر من العصور، في أي بيئة من البيئات. فهذه هي الدين الحنيفية السمحة. قاعدة: لا ينكر تغير الأحكام بتغير الزمان والمكان. وقد قال سيدنا الإمام الزركشي، وهو من أعلام مذهبنا المذهب الشافعي، في كتابه التشنيف المسامع: الحوادث تتجدد والمصالح تتغير بتغير الزمان والمكان. وقد جرى أيضا العلماء، اتفق العلماء السابقون من أصحاب المذاهب الأربعة على العمل بهذه القاعدة، كما مثلا ابن عابدين من الحنفية، والقرافي من المالكية، وأيضا الزركشي من الشافعية، وابن القيم الجوزية من الحنابلة. ولكن لا بد أن نفهم هنا أنه شرط في الاجتهاد، اشترط في الاجتهاد في فقه النوازل، في وقائع النوازل، هو يشترط شرطين هنا: أولا وجود حاجة داعية إلى بحث مسألة، وثانيا أن يكون المفتي أو الحاكم أهلا للنظر والاجتهاد. فهذين شرطين ذكرهما دكتور عبد الناصر أبو البصال في كتابه فقه النوازل. قد قال أيضا في ظل فقه النوازل الإمام ابن القيم، ولا يخفى من هو ابن القيم، وعالم جليل حنبلي المذهب، وقد ساء في فهم ابن القيم بعض الناس، ولكنه سنذكر ونعلق الكلام على ما سطره في كتابه إعلام الموقعين عن أحكام رب العالمين، وهي الفائدة 11 في إذا نزلت بالحاكم أو المفتي النازلة، فإما أن يكون عالما بالحق فيها أو غالبا على ظنه، بحيث إنه استفرغ وسعه في طلبه ومعرفته أولا. فإن لم يكن عالما بالحق فيها ولا على ظنه، لم يحل له أن يفتي ولا يقضي بما يعلم. فهذا ما ذكره ابن القيم يتعلق بالشرطين السابقين الذي ذكرتهما عن دكتور عبد الناصر أبو البصل في كتابه الفقه النوازل. فنستطيع أن نشوف ما مدى تعلق العلم فقه النوازل بالعلوم والتكنولوجيا، وأثر التقنية الحديثة في تطورات التقنية الحديثة في الأحكام الفقهية، بالأمثلة ما يلي ذكرها. Next. نستطيع أن نرى أن الأمثلة في فقه النوازل في جميع أبواب من أبواب الفقهية ففي فقه العبادة تستطيع أن نرى أنه في باب الطهارة نواجه مشكلة في هذا العصر من دورة المياه. قد تكاد الماء يكون نجسا أو متنجسا أو مستعملا، فدخلت في نظام دورة المياه فعادت صافية طاهرا طهورا. فهذه الأشياء نحتاج إلى أن يكون بتحليل دقيق من أصحاب العلوم والتكنولوجيا في أوصاف الماء التي تصفى بدورات المياه. كذلك أيضا في تحقيق تفاصيل المواد الموجودة في الأطعمة وكذلك المكياج. سأترجم كلام في باب مسائل فقه النوازل ليسهل فهم الحاضرون وبيان العلاقة العميقة بين العلوم والتكنولوجيا وبين الأحكام الفقهية. Mungkin kita semua ada di forum kali ini bisa mengerti atau memahami bahwasannya hubungan antara fiqhun nawazil dan antara sains dan teknologi adalah merupakan suatu hubungan yang erat. Dapat kita lihat hubungan ini dalam setiap bab dari bab-bab yang ada dalam kitab fikih. Mungkin kita mendapati pada zaman dahulu orang tidak memahami bagaimana proses berubahnya air tersebut dari air yang asalnya mustakmal atau bahkan mutanajis kembali menjadi suci sebagaimana air yang telah didaur ulang yang kita dapati banyak sekali pada masa sekarang ini. Begitu juga tatkala kita memperinci ilmu sains dan teknologi dapat memperinci saat ini apa saja zat-zat yang terkandung di dalam sebuah makanan, zat-zat yang terkandung di dalam make up dan lain sebagainya. Hal-hal seperti ini erat sekali hubungannya antara sains dan teknologi juga antara fikih Islami. Dan itu adalah suatu hal yang diharuskan untuk kita semua mengetahuinya atau mempelajarinya. Dan merupakan suatu kewajiban bagi seseorang, bagi seorang mahasiswa, bagi seorang akademis, bagi seorang pendidik dan pengajar dalam bidang sains dan teknologi untuk memberikan pemahaman, memberikan edukasi kepada publik terkait hal-hal seperti ini. Dan saya rasa saat ini Indonesia juga sudah mengalami kemajuan dalam bidang-bidang seperti ini sebagaimana MUI yang bekerja sama dalam penelitiannya tentunya terkait hal-hal tersebut. Begitu banyak dapat kita dapati hubungan-hubungan antara sains dan teknologi juga fiqhul Islami. Sebagaimana dalam bab ibadah kita dapat melihat hubungan antara air, ini salah satu contoh dan masih banyak contoh-contoh yang lain yang merupakan suatu bukti, suatu contoh akan pentingnya sains dan teknologi dengan fiqhul Islami. Begitu juga dalam bab fiqhul mar'ah. Kita mengalami kesulitan. Mungkin ada banyak perempuan di luar sana yang mengalami kesulitan tatkala membedakan darah yang keluar darinya dalam perkara haid, nifas dan istihadah. Bagaimana membedakan haid, bagaimana membedakan istihadah, bagaimana warnanya, kemudian waktunya dan lain sebagainya. Hal ini kelak akan menyebabkan kerancuan dan sebuah kebingungan seorang wanita dalam melaksanakan ibadah sholatnya. Dan peran sains dan teknologi di bab ini sangat besar sekali apabila ke depan dapat kita nikmati bersama-sama ada fasilitas yang bisa membedakan antara darah tersebut, antara darah haid atau darah istihadah dan lain sebagainya, agar seorang wanita muslimah dapat menjalani ibadahnya dengan tenang dan dengan percaya diri tanpa ada rasa was-was dalam dirinya. Kemudian di dalam fiqhul muamalat kita dapat dapati bahwasannya saat ini terjadi perkembangan yang sangat luar biasa yang membedakan bagaimana muamalah kita, bagaimana aktivitas jual beli kita pada saat ini dan pada saat 150 sampai 200 tahun yang lalu. Dapat kita lihat kitab literatur klasik kita dari setiap mazhab, di mazhab fikih itu menjelaskan bagaimana seseorang bermuamalah dengan cara yang klasik. Akan tetapi saat ini dan terus ke depan kita akan terus mendapati lonjakan-lonjakan kemajuan yang bahkan mungkin tidak pernah terpikirkan oleh orang pada zaman dahulu, oleh ulama pada zaman dahulu. Dan ini adalah salah satu bentuk yang mengharuskan juga adanya integrasi antara sains dan teknologi dan antara ilmu-ilmu keislaman agar seorang muslim dapat bermuamalah mengikuti syariatnya dan dapat juga mengikuti zamannya agar dia tidak ketinggalan oleh zamannya. Bagaimana yang sudah saya sebutkan tadi, saya kutip dari Profesor Muhammad Al-Azraq, salah seorang cendekiawan muslim dari Universitas Al-Qarawiyyin di Fas di Maroko, bahwasannya agama Islam tidak pernah menjadi batu sandungan bagi sebuah peradaban, bagi sebuah kemajuan, tetapi agama Islam akan terus dapat menyesuaikan dirinya, akan terus dapat menyesuaikan bentuknya dalam setiap zaman, dalam setiap keadaan, dalam setiap tempat. Begitu juga kita dapati saat ini dalam bab fiqhul munakahat, di mana kita bisa mendapati seseorang itu menikah dengan jarak jauh, dengan cara daring. Entah dia menikah atau melakukan akad dengan prosesi daring, atau dia mewakilkan akad tersebut. Yang zaman dulu orang hanya terpikirkan atau orang hanya dapat membayangkan mewakilkan akad tersebut dengan melalui cara tulisan. Kemudian juga salah satu contoh ini agar menyeluruh, agar dapat mengena fikul libab min abwabil fiqh al-islami, saya menyebutkan sebagian atau satu atau dua contoh dari setiap bab yang terdapat di dalamnya peran sains dan teknologi terhadap hukum fikih al-islami. Kemudian juga di dalam bab fiqhul jinayat, kita saat ini dapat melihat banyaknya kegiatan-kegiatan yang melanggar hukum, yang dalam hukum Islam juga sebetulnya terkena di sana aturan atau pelanggaran dan ada konsekuensi hukumnya, seperti qadzaf, di mana kita bisa dapati orang saat ini sangat mudah sekali menuduh orang lain untuk melakukan hal-hal yang tidak baik atau tidak pantas seperti zina dan lain sebagainya, yang dalam hukum Islam hal tersebut harus dapat dibuktikan dengan 4 orang saksi. Akan tapi orang zaman sekarang orang sangat mudah sekali menuduh, sangat mudah sekali mencela, mencaci dan lain sebagainya dengan mengungkapkan kalimat-kalimat yang kasar dan keji semacam itu dengan tanpa secara daring, secara online, baik itu melalui komentar, video dan lain sebagainya, tanpa ada konsekuensi hukumnya. Padahal dalam agama Islam hal tersebut ada dan terkena konsekuensi hukum, hukuman qadzaf dan lain sebagainya. Ini hal-hal juga yang masuk antara ada di sana hubungan antara sains dan teknologi dengan fiqhul islami, di mana kita mendapati contoh-contoh baru atau gambaran-gambaran baru bagaimana fiqhul islami itu dapat berkembang dan dapat diterapkan pada zaman saat ini melalui perkembangan teknologi yang ada. Contoh-contoh inilah yang dapat membuktikan atau menunjukkan kepada kita bagaimana hubungan antara sains dan teknologi dan antara fiqhul islami, dan bahwasannya dua ilmu ini merupakan sebuah ilmu yang tidak dapat dipisahkan antara satu dan lainnya. Bahwasannya kedua ilmu ini berkelindan satu sama lainnya. Dan dalam proses kita menuju masa depan sebagai seorang muslim, sebagai seorang akademisi, apalagi kita terikat pada sebuah institusi yang bernama Universitas Islam, kita memiliki kewajiban untuk memberikan edukasi kepada masyarakat yang luas bagaimana hubungan antara sains dan teknologi dan antara hukum-hukum fikih Islam yang dijalani di kehidupan orang-orang kita, di lingkungan sekitar kita sehari-hari, dan juga masyarakat yang luas. فهذه مختصر كلامي من في هذا الصباح والفرصة السعيدة. فأشكر لسعادة الدكتور عبد الله حميد على طلبه وعلى حسن ظنه لي، وأرجو الله أن يتمم هذه المناسبة بخير الثمرة. وأحب أن أختم كلامي بكلام الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه العزيز: وما توفيقي إلا بالله عليه توكلت وإليه أنيب. ثم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Please give a big applause for Mr. Muhammad Shauki for such an interesting presentation. Next, we will have a Q&A session. I will read question from the audience. The first one is from Amalia Putri from Diponegoro University. She is asking to Mr. Fahmy. She said, it's really interesting project. Do this research implemented for real wave? What if the worst probability that will happen if there is an error in the implementation of this project?
Okay, I'd like to try to answer this question. So, the output of my research, my project, is one of it is a new model that can be used for a real wave or a real world scenario. That's what I said in my presentation, is the practical model. So, if you have any input of with height at some point, and then you have the length of vegetation canopy and the physical properties of the vegetation, then you can predict, or you can calculate the wave height across the cross-shore wave height. So nowadays the model that used in the practical softwares like Mike 21 to F3D is still like quite underestimating the effect of vegetation. Most of them even like doesn't clearly include or stating the vegetation as it is. Yeah. So I'm hope with by the end of my project, I can give some new insight of the effect of vegetation. And yeah, well, it may not, the output is need to we need to not to make it overestimated or underestimated the effect of vegetation. That's my goal. Yeah, I think that's my answer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there any question from the audience? I would like to invite the audience to directly interact with the speakers. But while we still waiting for the next question, I will ask Professor Sukor. There is one question. Lately, there are so many research competition do you have a key to connect the science and technology as the problem in research? So maybe I would like to designate this question to Professor Sukor.
Yeah. Okay. There are so many research competition. Do you have a key to connect the science and technology as the problem in a research? Okay. Okay. Right. Very good question. But can I ask you, what do you mean with a key? What do you mean by a key here? A key to connect? Apa maksudnya?
Maybe
mungkin,
like
ya, mungkin bisa
the
dalam
substance.
dalam Malay juga bisa.
Ya, silakan Saudara Marfuatin Nafiah. Barangkali bisa menjelaskan apa yang dimaksud dengan key to connect.
Okay, terima kasih. Thank you very much for this occasion. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, please go
Can you
on.
hear my voice? Okay, thank you. It is, I mean, I still confused when I found something problem or when I found problems, and then I know this is a problem, but sometimes I can make a decision, is this a real problem or no? Jadi adakah, do you have a key to make a problem? A problem, it's mean in science and technology into problem formula. Jadi ketika saya mempunyai sebuah masalah itu dalam penelitian, saya kadang itu masih bingung apakah ini benar-benar solusi yang problem yang bisa dipecahkan atau ini hanya apa ya, sebuah temuan yang hanya apa ya, hanya yang tidak ada solusinya begitu. Nah, maksud saya, apakah ada kuncinya untuk membuat sebuah penelitian yang dihubungkan dengan masalah yang saya temukan itu? Seperti itu.
Apa maksud tips atau bagaimana ya? Hello, ya. Apa maksud tips atau bagaimana ya?
Can you repeat again?
Yang dimaksud
itu
key.
Ya. Tips. Adakah maksudnya tips di sini?
Ya, tips. I mean tips.
Boleh, tips.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I mean tips.
Okay. Alright. Thank you.
Thank you.
So basically, of course, dalam kita menyelesaikan masalah, terutamanya dalam bidang sains dan teknologi, there are a lot of problems lah. There are a lot of problems, and in research, all problems are opportunity. Even it is just a small problems, it masih lagi merupakan satu peluang untuk kita selesaikan. Jadi di sini tidak ada tarifan yang menyatakan sama ada problem itu kecil ataupun besar. As long as itu adalah permasalahan ataupun problem, dan kita dalam bidang sains dan teknologi masih lagi perlu untuk selesaikan. Okay? Saya rasa itu saja. Ya.
Bagaimana, Saudari Marfuatin?
So it means we still have confidence
Yeah.
to solve the problem, although it's so little thing.
Ya. Even itu adalah problem ataupun permasalahan yang simple. Okay, permasalahan itu masih lagi adalah satu isu di mana kalau kita tidak selesaikan, ia still akan create a problem for us. So that's mean maksudnya kita masih lagi perlu untuk selesaikan. So there is no such simple, small or big problem here. The key here, the point here, as long as that is a problem, then we as a researcher need to solve it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for your tips.
Okay, thank
Okay.
Thank
you.
you so much.
Next, I would like to invite Afisena Humaira, who asks directly to the speaker.
Yes, thank you, moderator. Firstly, I would like to thank our speakers today for giving awesome speeches. Before that, let me introduce myself. I'm Humaira from Avicenna team, and my question is addressed for Mr. Fahmy. Sir, as we all know here that Indonesia is prone to major natural disasters, including the tsunami waves. In your opinion, what is the proper vegetation that can prevent and restrain these waves? And how is the capacity of that vegetation to prevent tsunamis? Thank you.
Thank you. The question for Mr. Fahmy.
Thank you, Afisena Umaira, for the question. It's a very interesting and very good question. Actually, that's exactly is the reason why I took this topic first time. So, considering that the Indonesia is the green belt with a lot of mangrove, seagrasses, corals, so it is what can I do to utilize or to make something out of it? So yeah, in my presentation, the title is the marine ecosystem, the coastal ecosystem. So the coastal ecosystem usually comprises of corals and then seagrasses, or in Indonesia you call it lamun, padang lamun, and then we have mangrove. But this is not always present. Yeah, this ecosystem is not always present. In my experiment, the vegetation that and in my experiment and in the many literature, the rigid vegetation such as mangrove roots and mangrove trees can dissipate wave energy better than swaying vegetation. Swaying is like lamun or seagrass. Yeah. So and also in real life problem, when we have a tsunami in Aceh, the region with the mangrove has less damage than the area without mangrove. So overall, what I would like to say is all of the ecosystem is important, and we need to take care of all of them. And of course, in some regions, you cannot plant mangrove, or you cannot plant seagrass, or you cannot plant transplant the coral reef, because it has specific needs to be able to grow. But yeah, in short, the rigid vegetation like mangrove trees can dissipate with more wave energy than the swaying or the flexible vegetation such as seagrass. That's my answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fahmy. The next question is for Mr. Syauqi. Bagaimana syarat rukun seorang boleh menggali hukum Islam ketika hukum tersebut tidak ada di dalam Al-Quran dan hadis? Silakan, Mr. Syauqi. Halo. Is Mr. Syauqi still here? Okay. I think I will go on to the next question for Prof. Sukor. To some extent, the use of IoT can reduce the role of human. So what do you think about the future of smart cities or IoT technology in general in relation with our social life?
Okay, talking about the, you can say, the emergence of the IoT and also smart city itself, I think one thing that we need to agree, I think satu perkara yang kita mungkin perlu bersetuju adalah kepentingan teknologi, terutamanya IoT, dalam tujuan mengadaptasi atau membantu manusia dalam living in their life. Okay, in this case, in this context, in smart city itself. So dalam konteks tersebut, kita sebenarnya semakin terhadapan dan kebergantungan kita kepada IoT itu dan juga kepada teknologi sudah semakin meningkat. Dan saya percaya in the near future, the use or the application or the applicability of the IoT akan terus dipergunakan untuk meningkatkan untuk bantu untuk meningkatkan taraf hidup kita lah pada masa akan datang. In fact, saya rasa ia akan terus diperluaskan mungkin dalam konteks-konteks yang lebih luas. Okay, kalau kita lihat pada pembentangan saya just now, kita hanya melihat pada konteks-konteks yang common di use, okay, aplikasi yang too common used by many government or many countries like traffic management, public safety dan sebagainya. So I believe in the near future the application of IoT will be extended, okay, to other forms or to other fields like such as mungkin in tourism agency, okay, in tourism sector, in hospitality. Of course nowadays sudah mula untuk dipergunakan untuk bantu untuk kita memahami tentang simptom, tentang penyakit dan sebagainya, dan di bidang-bidang lain lah, termasuk manufacturing dan sebagainya lah. So from my point of view, I think the IoT itself will be strictly used and apply in order to increase the convenience of our life lah. Yeah. So mungkin in the future mungkin is not an IoT anymore, mungkin akan ada takrifan ataupun terma-terma lain. Sekarang ni pun kalau kita lihat sudah ada IoT dan sebagainya. So the key here is the technology itself will be very useful and will be used accordingly in order to increase our life lah. Okay. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Another question, I think this is for Prof. Sukor. Talking about technology and the internet, it's definitely not far from a security issue. How do we improve data security in a country like Indonesia or Malaysia, where data leaks often occur?
Okay, basically the first thing first that I need to inform here is I'm not a security expert lah. Okay, but anyway, I try to answer this question. Basically, I think the first thing yang kita perlu faham tentang data security ni adalah tentang applicability of the data itself lah. So untuk kita menangani security issue ini, yang pertama saya rasa di Malaysia sekarang ni sudah pun diimplement Data Protection Act, ACTA, untuk protect privacy dan juga data yang ditransfer, okay, oleh user kepada suatu sistem ataupun suatu aplikasi. So in fact saya rasa di Indonesia juga sudah mula memperkenalkan akta-akta yang berkaitan dengan data privacy ini. So saya rasa itu salah satu mekanisme yang boleh digunakan oleh pihak kerajaan peringkat atasan untuk diaplikasi ataupun digunakan di semua peringkat yang menggunakan internet dan juga apa-apa teknologi yang memerlukan pemindahan data peribadi ataupun apa-apa saja important data. Okay.
Okay, Prof. I think this is the last question to Mr. Muhammad Syaugi. Bagaimana syarat rukun seseorang boleh menggali hukum Islam ketika hukum tersebut tidak ada di dalam Al-Quran dan hadis? Silakan.
Ya baik, terima kasih moderator. Di dalam terkait pertanyaan mengenai syarat seseorang boleh beristihad hukum tersebut terdapat dalam Al-Quran ataupun hadis, kita dapat lihat dalam literatur klasik kita dalam fan ilmu usulul fiqh. Di sana terdapat satu pembahasan secara rinci mengenai al-ijtihad fi tahqiqil manar. Jadi ijtihad kita ini ketika satu hukum tersebut terdapat dalam Al-Quran ataupun hadis, maka kita mencari mana hukum tersebut atau kausa dari perkara tersebut, apa yang mengaitkan dia dengan perkara selainnya. Maka dapat kita lihat para ulama menelurkan banyak sekali karya-karyanya terkait persamaan satu hukum dengan lainnya, atau yang biasa disebutkan dalam ilmu fikih itu nudhara atau nadhir hukumnya seperti ini, atau permisalan hukumnya seperti ini. Ada sebuah kesamaan antara satu perkara dengan perkara lain dalam segi sebabnya, atau dalam segi sifatnya, atau dalam segi akibatnya dan lain sebagainya. Dia memiliki satu ikatan antara satu perkara dengan perkara lain. Mungkin seperti itu ya. Jadi jawabannya al-ijtihad fi tahqiqil manar. Ketika kalau kita ini terkait pisaunya atau alat untuk beristihad. Tapi kalau kita mau berbicara terkait syarat atau rukun seorang itu untuk beristihad, maka kita harus pulang lagi atau kembali lagi kepada literatur klasik kita yang menjelaskan secara terperinci sekali bagaimana syarat seorang itu dapat mengeluarkan hukum atau mengambil hukum dari sumber-sumber asalnya. Ada panjang sekali syaratnya, diantaranya dia mengetahui ayat-ayat dalam Al-Quran yang berkaitan tentang hukum, kemudian juga dia mengetahui mawaqil ijma, kemudian juga dan lain sebagainya. Itu ada panjang sekali. Biasanya diterangkan dalam ta'rif atau definisi dari usul fikih itu dalam kalimat halul mustafidiyah. Bagaimana seseorang atau keadaan seorang yang dapat atau boleh mengambil hukum dari sumber-sumber asalnya. Mungkin secara ringkas seperti itu. Terima kasih moderator.
Baik, terima kasih Mr. Syauqi. I think we have come to an end of this session, but before I close this session, I would like to ask participants to give a big applause for all the speakers. Thank you very much for the knowledge and insight you have been given in this session. The next agenda, I have to give the opportunity to the committee to award the certificate to the speakers. Okay. The first certificate will be awarded to the first speaker, Mr. Fahmy. Okay, certificate of UIC International Conference for Muhammad Yunnan Fahmy MT as speaker. The next certificate will be given to Prof. Sukor Sani Muhammad Fauzi from UITM Malaysia. Thank you, Professor. And the third certificate for Mr. Muhammad Syauqi Al-Muhdar LCMA. Thank you. Okay, finally, I will close this wonderful session. But before I close the seminar, I would like to remind all participants that after the seminar session, around 1 p.m. Indonesian time, there will be judging session where each group of participants have to present their paper in front of our international board of judges. So all participants, let's close this session. Thank you very much for your participation in this session, and let's hope that we can see you again in the next year UIC 2023. I'm Anang Kunaivi. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Prof. Sukor.
Syukran Habib Syauqi.